All right, welcome everyone to Isyour6covered. Appreciate you showing up tonight. We got a special guest. Hopefully, we're going to learn a lot. Maybe some of you guys out there that are thinking about doing some rattle can paint like myself. Maybe we're going to take it to the next step. Maybe do something a little more interesting, something new. But before you do something new and interesting, you want to learn all about it. And we happen to have the man, the myth, Mr. Wayne Hammer. Welcome, Mr. Wayne. How you doing?
I'm good, Rick. Thanks for having me on, man.
I appreciate you showing up. As you can see in the background, sponsor for tonight, which isn't really a sponsor, but I give them lots of love, is Pure Leaf Sweet Tea. So that's the drink of the night.
I'm
what
a
are you
Pure
drinking?
Leaf man myself.
Nice, very nice.
I've got a nice tall glass of Bourbon County.
Bourbon County.
That is in my Altamont Outdoors glass.
Very nice. So we're going to start these chats off knowing probably the most important question of the night. Pure Leaf, or no, sweet, or let's start over. Sweet tea, soda, or water?
Out of all those, I would have to go with water.
All right, show's over.
I am a tea person, but not so much the sweet tea.
Not so much sweet tea, all right.
I'm from California, so...
You know what, I did hear that about you.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but, I'm feeling a lot better about being in North Carolina.
We're going to get into that, because it'd be interesting, because, as you know, I moved here 6.5 years ago from the same dreaded spot that you just left. But before we do that, we got Drew Bradley is first. Welcome to the show. We got Car Kane, Steve Headley, Tank Frank is out there, English Rifleman Hello is out there. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Talking Rock. I did not shoot today, Talking Rock. James Smith, DW, Ordinary Everyday is out there. Wayne Hammer's out there. X-Ring, Greg Turner. Bryson Shoots. Better get that homework. Better get that homework done. Let's see who else has showed up so far. We got Elster's Rifles and Reloading, Robert Warren, Conservative Sniper Hunter, Travis L. Everybody's starting to pour in. Brian T. The other Tim Davis, Proper Racing, William Naw. And if you haven't got your name chatted out there yet, type something in the comments section. I probably missed you. So appreciate everybody showing up. And so Wayne, let's start off like a lot of these interviews. Where'd you grow up, buddy?
For the very first, 25 years of my life, I grew up in Ventura County, so in California on the coast. It's near Los Angeles. Grew up there, into my early 20s, got married, and ended up relocating to the Central Valley in California with my wife, and we lived there for about 8 years. And yeah, so just California.
Nice. You have 2 children, don't you, or 3?
I've got three boys. I've got a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 1-year-old who's about to be 2.
Wow, nice. Congrats.
Yeah.
Are we having any more, or are we going to stop at 3 boys?
Not purposely. I mean,
there you go. It always seems like a lot of people keep trying for that girl and end up with a whole 19 boys and 0 girls. Well, I was just wondering.
Here's the cool thing. As much as my wife likes little girls and wants to buy cute little dresses and stuff like that, she's not really interested in having a girl. She grew up with nothing but sisters, and so she's fine with the boys. She says the boys are easier to take care of, and we have friends with little girls and we spoil them instead. So
there you go. I have one of each, and I'm still trying to figure out which one's more difficult. I think it depends on the age group.
Ray Dixon representing.
That's right. So let's see. I got a few people. One in particular that had some good questions, but
I apologize. I'll be probably holding my tablet a lot because I'm not really set up to do this.
That's all right. We got, let's see. Who is your biggest influence or influencers coming into the world of Cerakote and gun stippling, and I know we'll get into it shortly, but like if you were to think of one or two, who's your biggest people that helped you out, or maybe you decided to kind of follow that passion?
You know, Rick, that's a really tough question, and the reason that's a tough question is in our circle, in Cerakoting and like the grip work and even machining, we're all a very close bunch, and most of us are actually really good friends. And amongst ourselves, we pass tips back and forth to each other. So, I mean, there's a ton of dudes out there. I'd hate to start naming people and forget to name someone.
Gotcha. No, that makes complete sense. Let me put a better background, just because purely doesn't give me any tea, so that's all they get. That's all they get for sponsorship. I'm going to put a pistol up here.
Okay.
That you had sent a picture of. So if you guys don't know Wayne Hammer, he was before he actually moved across country, and we'll kind of get into that. Maybe we should kind of get into that now. What was the reasoning you moved to North Carolina? Why do I even know you now?
So, I mean, it's interesting. A good friend of mine, Larry Hardenbrook, he's the owner of J&L Machining Works. I worked hand in hand with him with a lot of our custom builds back in California, and he would do all of my slide machining, and I would, of course, do the Cerakote work and the grip work on the guns. Well, he had a very special customer that needed something done, and they needed it done in a hurry. And the customer was actually Mr. Anthony Marfione. And he was, at the time, building a custom gun for his wife. And my friend Larry was like, hey, do you want to get in on this project? And I said, yeah, sure. I had no idea who the guy was. So we did a cool pistol. We ended up sending it to him. He sent me a Microtech Ultratech as a thank you. And then from there we did more guns and more guns and more guns and more guns for him. And now he probably has more of my custom guns than anyone else. And at one point he said, hey, I'd like you to come out here to North Carolina and come check it out. And I'd like to offer you a job with our company. And so I was like, wow, I was already planning to leave California. My wife and I had a 3-year plan, and we were coming up. We had about a year left on that plan, and we were going to move to Missouri because we have some family out there. And I was going to continue the firearms business out in Missouri. So I made the trip out to North Carolina, got to tour the Microtech facility, and talk to the owner a little bit, talk to some of the guys, and I really loved it. And so it was a very big maybe that I was going to come to North Carolina instead of where I was previously going to go, which was Missouri. Things ended up just falling into place, and this North Carolina thing took off, and I have a fantastic job in North Carolina. I'm extremely happy to be out of California. Obviously, you hear all the horror stories of California, but now I run the coatings department for Microtech knives, and I love my job at Microtech.
Yeah, that's where I had met you. It was when you were just transitioning to come over. I think it was like your first week. I think we stopped by the shop for something, and Ray had said, yeah, this is Wayne. He's from California. He just got, he just moved and all that. And I'm like, wow, I know how that feels. So that's a huge thing, especially, grabbing your family, packing all your junk, and, heading east, and not just east, but all the way to the other side. So
yeah, you really can't move much farther than that, coast to coast. And even though Microtech offered a ton of help for me to move, it was still a difficult move. I spent a good couple of months without my family here by myself. And luckily I've got some really good friends and contacts within the company, and I slept on couches or spare rooms, and was treated like family.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's kind of how it is out here. I mean, I want to get into the Cerakote stuff because I want to be able to give everybody some great information, but there's a huge difference, wouldn't you say? At least what I noticed from the West Coast to the East Coast, and how people are more, what would be the word? will kind of take you in, or they're a lot nicer, I guess would be a
I agree with you
simple
100%.
term.
You
Yeah.
feel like you're in a whole nother country. It's crazy.
Well, you kind of are. You're in America.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
I got a question on here that someone's asking. Let me address that real quick.
Which one is
Pistol
it?
Pete. He wants to know if H190 black armor Cerakote is harder or more durable, but also a thinner Cerakote. All Cerakote is extremely thin. That's one of the best things about it. It's very thin, very durable coating. Armor black is a very durable coating. I particularly like H146 graphite black a little bit better because of the sheen, but they're both great coating.
There you go. Let's dive into this. Sounds like these guys are interested.
Okay.
So Wayne, if I was, say I had an idea and I'm like, you know what, I got this really cool rifle up here. I'm tired of looking at it, color, whatever, and I want to change it to something, right? Now, I know that there's Duracoat, Cerakote. I don't know how close or how different they are. I haven't looked into it. You're the expert.
You've also got another brand called KG Guncoat.
KG Guncoat. So what would you say are the three differences in between the two, and which one's maybe the easiest for the not the pro, but the person at home just screwing off trying to pull off a coating of some sort?
So, without a doubt, Duracoat is probably the least durable out of the three, but it is also the most user-friendly and easiest to use for the home user. You can use Duracoat. They sell it in actually in a spray paint can, and it's got on the bottom of the can, it's got a little device you can pop, and it releases the activator into the can. You shake it up real good, you spray it, and you don't have to put it in an oven. It cures. It just air dries. But the thing with Duracoat over the others is Duracoat is not chemical resistant. It's not really abrasion resistant. It's essentially a really strong Cerakote, or I mean a really strong spray paint. Cerakote, I would say, is my favorite of the three. It's not super easy to use. There's actually a lot to it. There's a lot of technical stuff with Cerakote, like cure times, flash times, before you can add another coat, or sometimes you bake it a little too long and you can no longer add another layer to it because now that layer won't stick.
For multicam style stuff?
Yeah. Okay. You have a very small flash time, small window of time to use that. The KG Guncoat, what's neat about that is you can spray the KG Guncoat on something and fully cure it, and then you can spray directly back on top of it and it will stick to it. The things I don't like about KG Guncoat is you have to bake it very, very hot at like 325 degrees for 90 minutes. And That's not good on polymer frames and, composite stocks and whatnot. But they did, not too long ago come out with an additive that you can add to it to bring the temperature down to 180. Overall, I think Cerakote has the best finish. I think they have the best support. They have the biggest advertising. And when you're a certified applicator, Cerakote is constantly pushing for you to get the business, not for them to get the business. They would rather a customer go to a certified applicator than buy directly from Cerakote.
Okay. That makes sense. Get it professionally done is what they're saying. Don't try to do it at home kind of deal.
That's basically what they're pushing, yes.
So if you were to take those three coatings, you would say Duracoat, unfortunately called Duracoat, would be the least durable?
Absolutely the least durable. I mean, we've removed it by spraying it with acetone, or by spraying it with brake cleaner.
Wow. Okay. And then is it like everything else? Prep work is like a good majority of making sure the stuff sticks, whether it's all three of those. It's about prep work, making sure you don't have any oil from your fingerprints. That's important, right?
That's absolutely important. Your substrate needs to be completely free of any kind of oils or greases. You've got to have a good mechanical adhesion, like a good blast profile for the coating to actually adhere to. Prep is extremely important, and it's extremely important with all three of those brands of coatings. You're going to get the best result with a good prep. There's so many steps involved in the prep, and if you slack on even one of those steps, your coating job may look like it came out fine, but there's a chance that later down the road that coating is going to fail and either start to flake, start to chip, delaminate. You really got to be on top of it. You have to have a clean shot. If you've got to make sure that you have a very accurate oven to get the flash times correct. But I mean, if you know what you're doing, it's not super difficult. It sounds a lot more difficult than it is.
So the pistol behind me, this is one that you had done. I see there's stippling work that's been done, Cerakote. Now the slide. So you got some type of black, cool patterny, whatever, and then now is that just there's the black Cerakote with the what is that, bronze or coyote?
That's burnt bronze Cerakote.
Burnt bronze, okay.
And that's graphite black Cerakote.
And then the grip, is that the actual plastic from the polymer, or is that?
That is the actual polymer that we that I stippled.
Okay, so kind of just run us through a process of like, it looks like a lot of steps and a lot of work. So,
it is a lot of work. So when I'm doing a multicolor or like a two-tone pistol frame, where you want to have a black stippling, and say you want to have a green or a tan frame, and you have a black frame. Well, what we do is we go through and we're going to do all the prep work to the frame, all the cuts and, ergonomic changes that you want done to it. The undercut, double undercut, whatnot. Then we'll cut the borders in. And the border would just be like, the perimeter of the stippling. And we cut the borders in, and then what I'll do is I sandblast the entire frame after it's been degreased. Then I'll take masking tape and I lay it down on the area that's going to be stippled. I take a razor and I cut all around the border, so only the stippled area is masked off with masking tape. This is prior to stippling the firearm. Then we'll go ahead and we'll spray our Cerakote on it. We cure it. We pull the tape off. We do any kind of little touch-ups. If some paint got under the tape, we'll take and scrape it off with a razor. And then we go through and we do our texturing with either a wood burning tool or a soldering iron.
Okay, so that's done after the Cerakote.
It is done after the Cerakote, yes.
Okay. Wow. That's cool. We got a question here from Drew Bradley. He says, apples and oranges, but how does Cerakote compare to CERC or CARC system? You familiar with that or?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Welcome, Tyler Orth.
I'm trying to find that comment here.
It's like 4 from the bottom.
Oh, yeah, I see it. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe that's something new I don't even know about. I see another one in here, too. They want to know a comparison between Cerakote or titanium nitride coating. Titanium nitride coating is an awesome coating. It's very good for metal-on-metal friction. It's a very hard coating. It's a vapor coating, so it's a PVD. Cerakote isn't as hard or as durable as it, but what Cerakote does that titanium nitride doesn't is Cerakote actually prevents corrosion and rust. And titanium nitride, it'll rust right through that coating. So they both have their pluses and minuses.
So depending on, it's kind of like the whole metal. I've learned quite a bit, but like you can Cerakote certain stuff or pretty much everything, but you like to anodize something, it has to be like aluminum, and like there's all these like metal properties that some stuff works and some stuff doesn't. And does Cerakote work on? Obviously, it works on polymer. It works on steel, stainless steel.
Aluminum,
wood, titanium, wood.
Yeah. It actually works on wood too. Where Cerakote doesn't really bond well is on like a rubber surface that's going to get a bunch of flex. It has trouble bonding to that, and you flex it a little too much, and the Cerakote will start to chip and break.
And that's
So,
probably
say,
with
like,
any real type of coating, probably.
yeah. So say like a butt pad on a shotgun, or like a a pistol brace or something like that. Cerakote doesn't stick real well to those.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Go in here real quick, see if there's anybody that has a
The
question.
Shaggy Rifleman, you're right, man. 66 watching and only 30 thumbs up. Come on, guys.
You lazy bones.
Give us some love. Give us some love. Give us some thumbs up.
That's right. 3 Crowns is out there. He says, how thick is the coating after Cerakote is applied?
Your optimal goal for your film thickness with Cerakote would be anywhere from like 3/4 of a mil to 1.25 mils, and a mil is 1/1000th. So it's an extremely thin coating.
And I think a piece of paper is 2 thou, right?
You know what? I'm not sure, Rick. I'm not sure how thick a piece of paper is.
I think a standard piece is 2 thou. I'm not 100%
So,
right.
Cerakote has a couple different varieties of coating. They have an air dry formula. They've got an Elite series. They've got a regular standard H series. The Elite series goes on at about half the thickness of standard Cerakote, so it goes on at about 0.5 mil, and it's got a self-lubricating property to it, and it's meant for metal-on-metal friction, and it's about twice as strong as the standard H series. And then we have some of the high temp series, or like air dry formula, and those can be applied up to about 2 mil thickness. So.
All right, we got a good question here by Pistol Pete saying, what about recoating Cerakote? Does it have to be completely stripped down again, or could you basically spray it again and throw it in the oven? Or I know that sounds really simple. I'm sure there's a lot more involved, but do you have to tear it all the way down again, strip it all off with some type of blaster?
To do it correctly, yes. You're going to want to degrease it. You're going to want to blast the Cerakote off of it the best you can. And you're going to have to do a gas out procedure where you hang it in the oven and basically let any kind of oil or contaminants actually kind of like sweat out of it. And, sometimes you're going to have to degrease it again. For instance, AKs and SKSs, they're terrible. I hate coating those.
Because they're just oily?
You're spending day after day after day soaking and baking. And then at some point, you even have to get out the MAP gas torch and heat parts up to really get oil out of stuff on some of those that have been dipped in cosmoline.
3 Crowns wants to know, what should a lower and upper receiver Cerakote cost?
I would say on average, you're looking about, for a single color, anywhere from about $40 to $60 per piece on receivers and handguards. That could be up to $75. It really depends on who's doing the coating.
Okay. What's this one? The X-ring out there saying 3.5 thou. 3-ish thou per piece of paper.
Who's X-ring? I don't think I've ever heard of that guy.
His is a Korean channel or something like that.
Talks about like a cooking channel?
Yeah, he talks about like kimchi and other types of
I like kimchi.
Food. I'm not a big fan of kimchi.
I don't like the way it smells. To be honest with you, it tastes good, but it don't smell good.
Yeah, I had a chance to have some of that. Let's see. Wayne, how did you get started? And is there a specific brand you like working more with? X, Glock, or so on? Example, Glock, or so on?
Yeah, so it's funny how I got started, really. Just like through some of the forums and stuff I was on the Calguns forum for a long time, and I had noticed people coating their guns in different colors, and I was kind of a rattle can person myself. I still like rattle can rifles, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I ordered some Duracoat, believe it or not. Like I told you guys earlier, it comes in a spray paint can, but it was supposed to be stronger than actual spray paint. So I ordered like 3 colors of Duracoat, and I hit up all my buddies around the neighborhood. I said, "Hey, you guys want to have like a painting party? Like, bring your stuff over. We're gonna do it." We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We just kind of like cleaned them off with some brake cleaner, and we sprayed some Duracoat on them, and we were so happy with that. And then I saw the other product, Cerakote, and I was like, I'm going to order one of their little tester kit. And, did that all backwards and screwed up, and then kind of started doing a little research into how you're supposed to apply it. And bought myself a little sandblaster and some stuff, and was baking stuff in my home oven, believe it or not. And I don't recommend that, guys.
Why? Is it smell or what?
It smells, and your food starts to taste like Cerakote.
Awesome.
I mean, I wasn't baking like an upper while we were making a loaf of bread or anything, but
So if you're a die-hard shooter and you want a pizza that tastes like Cerakote, there you go.
But yeah, that's how I got started, and I started doing it, I guess you would say, in a more correct way. I still wasn't 100% on it, and I caught the attention of some local gun shops, and actually started working for one. I reached out to them after they kind of reached out to me also, and my first job at a gun shop was with a shop called Exeter Gunslingers. They were in Exeter, California. They were about 5-10 miles from my house, and he helped me set up a little shop in his shop, and it was cool, man. We were doing some stuff. That's when Instagram stuff was like really cool, like when you were actually getting genuine follows and views, and when social media wasn't so censored. And I still really wasn't doing it right.
Learn from screwing up a few times. That's how you learn, right?
I did end up going to Cerakote's facility in White City, Oregon, and I did take their class, and I am a certified applicator with Cerakote now.
Nice. How long does a class like that take?
It's a 2-day class, and you're in there all day.
Yeah. Do they hand you a project you got to work on? Basically, it's like a sweatshop labor where they're... Oh, he hit the wrong button. Awesome. So let me jump out here while he tries to jump back in, hopefully. And don't you hate... If you've ever hit the wrong button, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Pistol Pete, 3 crowns. Got some new blood in the house. Armament and Axes, welcome. Another Tim Davis. Ordinary Everyday. John Jeffries, welcome. Let's see. Brian Shoots. Wow, he just straight up Mark Zuckerberg. That's good stuff. And he's back. Hey, that one button that says close or shut down or something? Yeah, don't hit that button.
Sorry about that.
Hitting Steel, California's out there. What is going on?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You're breaking up a little bit.
I don't know. I haven't changed anything.
Let me try to get out and get back in because I can barely hear you.
Okay. Thomas Rowland, what is going on? Let's see. So it sounds like we got a lot of... there's a lot that goes on getting a good coating of Cerakote on, or even anything. There's a lot of prep work involved. And sounds like if you have some type of sandblaster or some way of getting off all the coating from before, maybe you rattle canned it, and now you want to switch over. There's going to be some sandblasting involved. So let's try to see if Wayne's back. See if it sounds any better.
I'm back, but you're still cutting out really bad.
Really? Are you guys hearing the same thing, or is it just on Wayne's end? Wayne is quiet. It says he's a lot quieter now. We're back in business. A Lau says... Well, it'll take him a second to answer. There's a little bit of lag.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Well, I wonder what changed.
I'm going to put this back on my tripod here.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry about that.
Hey, it's what happens. It's all good.
Come up on my phone and I tried to get rid of it and it kicked me out. So I'm back.
Back in action. All right. Well, welcome back to the show, Wayne.
Okay, so I see someone in here talking about glass bead, not sandblasting, and that is extremely incorrect. You don't glass bead anything before Cerakoting. Glass bead will polish your surface and will not give you a mechanical profile for your paint to adhere to. You use aluminum oxide or garnet sand.
You want something a little more abrasive so it'll stick to it, right?
Absolutely.
Let's see, that is a cool hat you have on. How could someone get their hands on one of those hats?
Let's see who said that.
Oh, he's being silly, but I do sell these precision long range social distancing hats. So all you got to do is send me an email. I got an order that should be on its way. Let's see, Natala Johnson. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Welcome to the show. Orion Fixer.
Someone said they can barely hear me. Are you hearing me fine, Rick?
Yeah, it sounds like we're back though.
Oh, okay, cool.
3 Crown says sounds good.
Okay.
Rick is good to go. Kreiderman's out there. What's up, John Kreiderman? Says Wayne's quiet. I don't know. We'll see. Tell us if Wayne's still quiet. You sound fine in my headset, so we'll see.
You sound good here now.
Shaggy Ruffman says audio is better now, so we're good. Oh, need a rough surface for adhesion. Yeah. Adhesion.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were to glass bead something and apply your Cerakote, Duracoat, any of that stuff over it, you'd almost be better off just applying your coating to a non-blasted part at that point, because it's going to be incredibly smooth if you use glass bead.
So does it have to be, if you're going to use Cerakote, like say I got an AR sitting here, which I happen to have an AR sitting right there, but would I have to bring it all the way back down to bare aluminum?
No. If it's an anodized receiver set or a handguard, whatever, you don't. What we do is we do a degreasing process on it. Make sure there's no oil or anything left on it, and then it's going to go in the oven. It's going to do a gas out stage where we're actually gassing out all the oils and contaminants out of it at a high temperature. That's
what Ray does here at the end of the chats. He does a lot of gassing out.
Ray does a lot of gassing out anywhere he goes. Like, luckily his gas doesn't stink often for as much as kimchi that man eats. So what we'll do is we do a light blast on anodized parts, just a light etch to remove any kind of surface contaminants, maybe. But it does not have to go down to bare metal.
Then from there it goes into the wash?
No. It goes straight to paint directly after blasting. It goes through the wash and everything before it even gets in our blast cabinet. That way we don't contaminate our media.
Okay. That makes sense. So how long you been working at Microtech doing Cerakoting?
April this year will be 1 year that I've been there.
Wow. It's already been that long.
It's crazy. It seems like I've been there for like 3 months.
Yeah. I know. Even in my head, it seems like you've been there 3 months.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been there almost, a half a month now? I don't know.
It's cool, man. The job at Microtech is really neat. They basically said, hey, whatever you need, you let us know. We're going to build you the shop that you want. And it's really cool. I'm in a kind of a temporary shop right now. We're building a very state-of-the-art shop, which is going to be very cool. There's not a whole lot more I can really tell you about it, but it's going to be probably one of the nicer shops in the country.
Nice. Now, is it just to be more, to be able to do more, or is it like to keep things even cleaner, like so it's less contaminants, or what are we talking about? Whatever you can say without saying what you're not allowed to say.
We are building a much larger shop, so we do have more room for, hanging our fixtures, for hanging parts. I can't go into what we're going to coat and what we're not going to coat. We do currently coat, all of our blades are coated in Cerakote. The majority of our pocket clips, a lot of our hardware. and even some of the actual handles and chassis we do in Cerakote. We do some cool camouflage ones and some cool little onesies and twosies here and there. But all I can say is just keep an eye on the products, and you'll start to see what's coming out of the new shop.
Nice. Looking forward to it. I have seen some. There's a very serious question here. I don't know if you want to answer this or not, but Bryson Shute says, what is it like working with those two sexy beasts in coatings department?
He must be talking about me and Jared. And me and Jared, you know, we're both pretty good-looking dudes.
Pretty sexy sons of guns, huh?
Yeah, you know, if I do say so myself. We do have this little Poindexter 19-year-old kid who's in there sandblasting his heart away and painting blades and stuff for us. And, you know, he's kind of ugly, but he works hard. I think his name's Bryson.
Is it Bryson Shute, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
No, man, you know, I'm lucky to have the team that I do. Bryson and Jared, they give it their all. They both learn extremely fast, and they're both very good at what they do. I'm very lucky to work with those guys.
Here's a great question with Pistol Pete, and I know there is some differences because we had to do some testing, and we talked about some different colors. And if you're not familiar, Wayne, why don't you talk a little bit about Cerakote and how some are for higher temperatures than others, and that may impact what you're picking when you're deciding colors and all that kind of madness.
Yeah, so Cerakote on suppressors. At Microtech Defense Industries, we do a couple different finishes on our suppressors there. We do our apocalyptic finish, which is a really cool titanium finish. I can't really go into how we do it, but it's a really cool finish. It's called apocalyptic. And then we do offer a couple colors in Cerakote. We do a high temp black Cerakote and a high temp tan Cerakote. Our tan is a proprietary mix that is unique to us only. It's good up to 1800 degrees. And our black that we're using too, we just switched over to a new black, and it's also an 1800 degree coating.
And I like it a lot.
I do too, man. It's got a good look to it, man. It really does. It's got that real nice satin look and almost like a blue hue to it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely cool as hell.
So the beauty of those coatings, we're never going to hit 1800 degrees on one of the R2K9 cans. It's a 9mm can, or you can shoot 300 blackout subsonics through it. And 300 blackout subsonic might get it hot if you were shooting like full auto.
It's rated for full auto.
It is rated for full auto, but
For
the
the
9mm, the 9mm, even shooting the plus Ps, even with the machine guns, being a titanium can, it's really hard to get it hot enough to melt Cerakote. But we still do use the 1800 degree on it just in case.
And Lau says the apocalyptic is great. I like it.
I personally have the apocalyptic on one of mine right up there, and I love the apocalyptic finish myself.
Yeah, that's one of mine waiting in jail right now, waiting to get out. Someday. Hopefully soon.
I need to clean mine. Mine's got a little bit of gunk in it from yesterday's range day.
Well, if you ever need to take it apart and don't know how to put it back together, let me tell you, I got that shit figured out.
You know, Rick, I think at this point I've probably assembled more of them than you with all the paintwork that I've done on them.
Probably.
I don't know.
Minus the baffles, though. The hard part's the baffles.
We don't.
Yeah, you guys aren't allowed to touch those.
No, I've torn mine apart a couple times, but I think I need to get a little something stronger to clean mine because I'm leaving carbon and stuff all over them.
Simon asks, where's the pure leaf, baby? It's right here. Let's see. Gotta have the pure leaf, or at least something of some sweet tea madness. Let's see. Mine is in jail now too.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them in jail. They're out and about now.
You know, man, I think a lot of people see the suppressor and they see it, oh, well, it's coming from a knife company. Well, they don't know who at our company is designing that, and the background they have. It's such an amazing can. I demoed it for some people yesterday at the South Carolina Gun School, and you know, every single one of those guys is going to be ordering one. They're like, oh man, like after shooting it, the price isn't bad, especially with what it comes with. I mean, it's a fantastic can.
So Wayne, you want to tell them about your surprise? So I come back up from lasering. I come back up from grabbing the the lasering of some suppressors, and I'm walking back up the stairs, and I'm like, what the hell? So go ahead.
So let me give you a backstory on this first. So I have a very good friend, Kevin Dixie, and he runs a training company called No Other Choice. He's also a black gun rights enthusiast and advocate, and empowers a lot of people in urban areas to defend themselves legally and let them know it's okay to defend themselves. And he's doing great work in urban areas and just, you know, all over social media. And so Kevin's a good friend of mine, and we had been talking, and he was talking about wanting to do a signature pistol. He loves the VP9. He wanted to do something for his company in the black and red color that matched his company. And so I said, Kevin, let's do it. And he's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I kicked him in his ass, man, and made him come up with something. And with the help of J&L Machining, with Carolina Custom Foam, we came out with an incredible product. A H&K VP9 with a very cool custom slide cut. It had the Lobos trigger in it. We did the black and red Cerakote on it, full stippled frame. In Carolina Custom Foam, they knocked it out of the park with some very cool cases. And this gun was the gun that fights gun control. And the reason they said it's the gun that fights gun control is in the custom foam, it depicted things that happened to the black community back in the day when they weren't allowed to defend themselves. You know, like Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. The black communities were bombed by our own government, and they had no way to defend themselves. Well, anyways, so we make these cool custom cases depicting all that. Kevin's got a really good story to go with all of it, and so I helped him make all these pistols, and it was a hot thing. But the thing was, I couldn't buy one because that pistol wasn't approved in California. I lived in California at the time. I could not buy an H&K VP9. It wasn't on our list of
the roster. Wasn't on the roster.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm here in North Carolina now. I've been here close to a year. Ray walks into my shop and says, hey, Wayne, I need you to come upstairs real quick because Tony needs to talk to you. Tony's our boss. He's the owner of Microtech Knives. I said, okay. So I get up there, and this guy, man, I'm telling you. Tony. That's
when I come through the door with my shit. I'm trying to go through the door, and
so while I'm getting chewed out.
Yeah. So Tony.
So he's telling me, he goes, man, you really screwed up this time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and he's like, I'm not joking this time because he's pulled this on me before, and I'm not joking this time. You screwed up, and you're gonna fix this on your own time. I want you to see what you did. And he starts walking me over to one of the offices. And he goes, I want you to see this. And all the time I'm walking, there's a cameraman with a big old gimbal and stuff like that. I don't even see the guy. I
didn't see him either till he.
Yeah. So Tony opens up the door to one of the offices in there, and there's Peter from Carolina Custom Foam standing there. And Peter's a North Carolina resident. He lives in Black Mountain, just up the road from us. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? I was excited to see my friend Peter. And then my friend Larry from J&L Machining pokes his head around. And I'm like, Larry, oh my gosh, Larry flew here from Idaho. And then Larry starts to walk out. And then there's Kevin Dixie, the man we created the truth with. And Kevin pops out. And he's like, hey, man. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? And here's Tony just with a big old smile on his face after busting my balls. And, they said, hey, we just came out. We wanted to see you, and we wanted to bring you something. And I was like, cool, what's that? And they hand me the case. And as soon as they hand me the case, I can't hold it back anymore. My hands are covering my eyes, tears coming out of my eyes. I know exactly what they brought me. They brought me my own version of the pistol. And they had someone else do the grip work and the Cerakote on it because obviously I couldn't do it for my own gun. It has a custom serial number that says Hammer on it. And I was just blown away. I had no idea. it was an amazing thing. To have friends, come from all over the country to do something like that for you it's just huge. Like these guys are my family. We've done a lot together, and I can't tell you how grateful I was for that. That was amazing. They pulled one over on me, very, very much so.
Yeah, I was glad I was there to witness that. That was pretty cool, man. That was pretty cool. All right, so we got something that we need to talk about, Mr. Hammer.
What's that?
Okay, here it is.
God.
So, and this is an awesome topic because what you see behind me, ladies and gentlemen, is the exact same handguard. So depending on your lighting, but Wayne, have at it. I'll even get out of the way so you can see.
That particular handguard, that's a Knight's Armament handguard. And I had a customer send me their gun. They wanted coated in a certain color. They told me the color code they wanted, and that right there is Troy Coyote Tan. I don't remember the H series number off the top of my head, but it's Troy Coyote Tan. Well, when I finished it and I sent a picture to the customer, he said, "No, that's the wrong color. That's not what I wanted." And I said, "Well, you gave me the color that you wanted." And he said, "Yeah, I understand, but that's not what I wanted." So he sends me a picture. Picture he sends me looks more like the middle picture directly behind Rick. So, if you're looking to the left of Rick, that is a picture of the same rail. This rail has only been coated once in all those pictures. It has never been coated a different color. The picture to the left of Rick is inside my shop under fluorescent lights. The picture directly behind Rick is outside in direct sunlight. And the picture to the right of Rick is outside in the shade. It is all the same color. So where we're going with this is if you do decide you want a Cerakote project and you're looking at pictures of Cerakote projects done by other people, I would highly recommend you get on Cerakote's website, you look up that color, and you look at some of the other photos of it, because depending on the lighting, that color could look different. And it kind of sucks when you send a project back to someone and they're disappointed with the color. And I know me particularly, I would be disappointed too if I was expecting a certain color and got another color, after I waited, a couple months for my Cerakote job. But that is something that I have shown to a lot of people. A lot of other Cerakote companies have actually shared that photo for the same reason, saying, "Hey, check it out. This is one color. Be careful what you ask for. It may not be the color that you're looking for."
So this one to me looks coyote. This one looks more burnt bronze, and this one is just a darker
brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are all three badass colors. I mean, it would be a really cool camo, actually. Yeah. But that's the thing, people. I'm looking at the green screen like it's up there.
Yeah.
Just dumb.
And it's the same color.
But it's the same color. So what would you say if you were to say you had a really nice rifle pistol, and you're like, "Man, I really want to get the slide Cerakoted to match something." Is there a certain light you should look at, or out in the sun to do the color chip thing? Like,
I would recommend looking at the color out in the sun. The cool thing with Cerakote is you can actually go on their website and you can request color samples directly from their website. They will send you a sprayed out sample on a piece of aluminum.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so you're going to want to take that and you're going to want to look at that in different lights and see if that is the color that you want. They have every single color they make on a color sample, including all their powder coat colors they make as well.
You said powder coat.
Yeah, Cerakote also owns a company called Prismatic Powders, and they have over 1,000 colors.
So, what would be the benefit of powder coating something over Cerakoting something?
Powder coat would be used for like automotive applications, vehicle frames, brake calipers, control arm.
Thicker, more durable stuff?
very much thicker, absolutely more durable. It's not a very good coating to use in the firearms. In the firearms
Tolerances or something?
Yeah, because of the tolerances. I mean, if you were to say powder coat an upper receiver and a lower receiver, well, that's going to take all your slop out of there. You won't need that little red thing anymore. But chances are those two aren't going to fit together.
You don't need the red thing. All right, well, let's have some fun. Let's jump out of Cerakote for a little while. Tell me some of your how was the whole experience of the move thing? Like when you knew you wanted to get out of California, you weren't really sure you were going to go to Missouri. For some of you guys that are just catching up or just showing up, we'll take a break, have some fun. Let's talk about Paris skate park. So
your old stuff.
You were in Ventura, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, near Ventura.
Near Ventura. I was down in Riverside County. No, I used to do firefighting out in Paris, but so you were talking about a skate park, and we were talking earlier off show, and it was a lot of fun. And doesn't matter how old we are, right? You have a story, I got a story, and it's basically when we have kids, right? You want to. For some reason, we feel like we must impress them with our madness of the shit we used to do like 40 years ago.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden, your whole talent tank is empty because you used it all when you were younger. And then you try to pull stuff off, and you break your elbow trying to jump across this thing. Well, anyways, you also had a story. So I had to drive my son home and my daughter and her friend with one broken arm and pretend it didn't hurt.
Yeah,
that was fun.
So it's funny that you say that. The Paris skate park. It's called Real Ride Skate Park. It's in Lake Paris at the fairgrounds. I used to go there to compete riding BMX back in the day. I'd do BMX park, and that's not where my story happened, but. Yeah, I mean, it was in your neck of the woods. That's why I had brought that one up to you. And also, it wasn't 40 years ago since I'm only 36. No, we had a local skate park at home in Tulare, California. My son had just started being pretty proficient riding his bike on two wheels. And I had taken him to a regular park just to ride around the little track they had at the park. And then he got tired of doing that. I said, okay, let's go find another park. We'll ride around their track. Because we had several parks with little tracks to ride around. And he said, Dad, I want to go to the skate park. I said, cool. All right, let's go. And I'm on my BMX bike too. 20-incher still. I'm, damn near 300 pounds riding that thing. And, I said, all right, cool, let's go there. And so he's stoked. He's riding around the little 4-foot bowl and carving around the corners. And he just, he's on cloud 9 doing that. And I'm like, hey, Chase, watch this. And I drop in and I'm, doing the same thing as him. And then I'm like, watch this. I can still do some tricks. And, Dad pops up and 360s out of the bowl. Yeah, well, I kind of slid out and fell really hard. When you're as heavy as I am, you fall very hard. And I feel like I hit every single piece of my body on that concrete. Like, I don't know how it happened. Like, I was hurting in places I didn't know I had. And, like, I was fine. But by the time I got home, I was starting to feel my foot really hurt. Like, I thought I broke my foot. It got to the point where I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand on it. And my wife is just like, oh, my gosh. Like, she knew I was going to do this.
Yeah.
Because, like, I can't just take it easy. I tell her, oh, yeah, I'm going to take it easy. Yeah, I don't do that. And, my foot hurt so bad I had to start having beer delivered to the house. I couldn't even go get my own beer. And, it finally went away. Was it broken? I don't know. It might have been. But, I still fart around on the bike. I can still do some tricks and still have my BMX bike, which was actually given to me by Morgan Wade, who's a professional BMX rider for Hoffman Bikes. And he's one of my good friends, and he gave me one of his bikes. And so, I go to the skate park with the kids and fart around on that thing.
Nice. DW says, Shaggy, I have an idea. A mobile Cerakote and pizza. So you can go to the client's house, paint their rifle gun, and drop off a pizza from the Cerakote oven. while they wait, then go to the next customer. Sounds like a good idea there, DW.
These
guys are thinking that
would be kind of cool. To be honest with you, I mean that'd be kind of neat. I mean,
it'd be like
be really good at what you do, and you'd have to have like a big following for that. But that'd be cool.
That would be kind of cool.
You could have
a build party in the morning and then a Cerakote party in the afternoon.
How would you do it though? Like legally, like you'd have to have like a mobile FFL. I don't think you can do that.
For what? Cerakote?
Yeah, I mean you're working on firearms. Unless
they never left the
customer waits.
Yeah, he'd have to sit in the booth and eat pizza while it dried.
So what about maybe we do a mobile Cerakote, mobile pizza, and mobile tattoo shop? That way they can get a tattoo while they're waiting on their gun to get out of the oven.
There you go. And right before that one shows up, you could do an 80% build kit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't either.
Yeah.
You don't need those here. That was the thing. Let's see here. There's this hot chick out in the chat that says you look pretty hot in your flannel shirt.
She's all right.
She's all right. That's your sister. That's your sister, right?
No, it's my wife.
She has the same last name as you. It must be your sister.
Well, yeah, I thought that was a North Carolina thing. Or is that like Alabama? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just having fun with you. Welcome to the show, John Jeffries. Let's see who else is out there. John Crowderman. No, that's fun. So what's have you and your wife been able to go out and check out all the cool sites? We got 250 waterfalls just around the location.
We haven't got to go check out a whole bunch of them. We have been to Looking Glass a couple times. Looking Glass Falls is really cool. Get to go, jump in the cold water with the kids. That was really fun. We like to take our friends there when they come visit.
You got to take them to Sliding Rock if you want cold water.
Okay. Well, it's kind of sucks, man. We haven't got to do a lot of the cool North Carolina stuff since we've been here because of the whole COVID thing.
What's COVID?
A lot of things are locked down, man. It's a drag.
That's true. I always forget there's COVID going on.
Yeah.
For some reason. I guess I won't let it get in my head.
We don't let it get in our head either. It's just a drag. Some of the places that we've wanted to go eat, like I want to take my wife over to Sierra Nevada to go eat at their place. Like it's beautiful in there, but they've been locked down since we've lived here.
Yeah, hopefully everything gets back to normal soon.
I hope so. Well, now that we have a presidency change, I think COVID will probably go away.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, we're gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
Not the time or place.
Let's see here. Will you do my Wilson Combat EDC X9 Cerakote? Guys, he works. Do you even do? I mean, you already got a job doing Cerakote, and you're busy as hell. I think I brought you like 30 suppressors down the other day to do, right?
Bro, Sam brought more too. No, I wish I could take on some individual jobs from customers. At the facility we have right now, it's a work-only facility. We don't do any kind of side jobs or anything. It's strictly our product. I don't do any of that kind of work on my own due to not having an FFL or a shop or anything like that. So, no, I can't do it. I can recommend you to people that I think highly of.
If you guys want something Cerakoted that he's done, we got some really cool suppressors out there that you guys can pick up.
Absolutely.
At your Microtech dealers. Also, if their gun stores might have the ability to pick one of those up for you.
Can I get my high point carbine Cerakoted?
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
America.
Get the high peasy done.
The high peasy. Let's see.
Those carbines
this is
bad guns.
They're not.
I kind of like them. The only thing I like about them is the magazine capacity.
Yeah, then they're big and bulky, but they work. They're actually pretty damn accurate.
Yeah, and you can use it as a hammer if you needed to.
Exactly. Brian Duchesne has a great comment here. the Natahala. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong, but I've done that. It's a cool trip, and it's not too far away.
You know, when we went into Tennessee, we saw a bunch of the rafting trips and stuff over there, and thought it was really cool. But
you get a young.
Our kids are kind of little.
Yeah, I totally understand.
I wouldn't want to take my kids on something like that yet because of, we have a baby and no, that's kind of sketchy for a baby. So
that's a great answer. Great answer. We were just testing your parenting skills and you passed. So.
Well, my family comes first before anything. So.
Nice. Very nice. Let's see. So since you moved to America, almost a year ago. And you've been able to go to gun stores and buy whatever you want besides tanks and, rocket launchers and some few other things. Have you?
What do you mean besides that stuff?
Have you found anything? What was your first purchase as a free American in North Carolina?
My wife bought me a rugged Oculus suppressor, a 22 can, and
I think I like her.
Yeah, and then I bought a CZ Scorpion SBR.
Nice.
SBR. Yeah, so those are.
You ain't screwing around. I like it.
Those are still in lockup, and then I've got. I have 5 pending stamps right now. And it's cool, man. I was so excited to get here and buy some cool stuff, and it's like, yeah, man, I spent this much on this, and then it's like, damn, I got to spend another $200 every time I get one of those cool things. Like, and then I got to hurry up and wait. Like shit, I kind of just forget I got those,
Exactly. You just you just wait for the phone call. You're, oh yeah, I bought one of those like 6 months ago. That's right.
Everything you see on my wall here, like, I've bought here, like, with the exception of that Glock 19. That's my wife's gun. Everything has been purchased here. I'm probably up to about 10 guns now since I've been here, and 3 cans.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing better than waiting for the stamp to show up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lynn Holt says, what does Wayne find different about North Carolina over Cali?
There's a lot. There are things that are great about California. But here's the way I look at California. California is more of a good place to visit and not live. The taxes are high. The vehicle emissions are crazy. To buy a firearm is crazy. Like, there's a very limited number of firearms we're actually allowed to buy. We can't buy NFA items. No SBRs, no SBSs, no suppressors. There's just so many rules and regulations. Even vehicle registration is just crazy there.
Expensive.
You get taxed, and there's a fee for everything there.
There's a tax on top of a tax on top of a
crazy.
tax.
And then I come here to North Carolina, and North Carolina is just so beautiful. You're breathing fresh, clean air because of all the trees here. The people are nicer here, and then I can go buy the stuff that I want to buy without someone, screwing with me. There's a lot more freedom to live in here. Yeah, certain parts of North Carolina, like even where I live, is honestly more expensive to live here. Like, my housing's more expensive than I was paying in California. But I'm also renting currently versus I owned a house in California, so my mortgage was a little cheaper. But man, the neighborhood I live in here is amazing. My kids go run around and play, and I don't have to worry about them. There's a ton of kids in the neighborhood. It's fantastic. We love it here.
Yeah. That was some of the things I noticed the most when I moved here was the people were a lot more friendly.
Yeah, absolutely.
The toughest part I had was because I had to keep flying back and forth, so like trying to figure out, I don't even know what the right word would be, like what mindset I was in, right? So if I just flew back, my mindset I was in California, right? So everything was like fast paced and this and that, get your shit and get out and move on, fill your car up and get the hell out of the way kind of deal. I remember going to this gas station, and it was the first time I said, and this lady was talking to the lady at the register, and they're bullshitting about, I don't remember what it was. And I'm like, hurry the hell up. thinking it. I would never say it. And I'm like, come on, I got shit to do. And then right then I noticed I just got home. I have basically 15 days off. I don't have shit to do. Like, why am I in this hurry? Like, it's so ingrained into you that everything's got to be like, get out of the way and get this done.
Absolutely.
And it is such a different pace of life. And not that it's slower, definitely slower, but it's a
huge change.
It's a big difference if you're not used to it. Driving a car on a freeway there compared to here. And like
driving on the 405 is a drag, I know you drove on the 405 plenty of times when you moved, 5 miles in 2 hours.
Yeah. Top speed of 1.5 miles an hour for 2 hours.
It's funny, we got some people commenting, like, hey, Freedom's just south of you in South Carolina. And I'm not going to lie, I've been looking at houses in South Carolina. The size of house and land you get for the price is pretty attractive.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's a huge difference from California to North Carolina, and even from North Carolina to South Carolina.
Yeah, and then Tennessee also. I don't think I would move to Tennessee, though, because I hate driving up that hill.
Oh, to get yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of bonuses depending on where you're at in life, like with retirement and stuff like that. Like, Tennessee's a good non-tax of your retirement kind of stuff like Florida is. So there's some bonuses to living up there. I would probably say, because I've driven across the United States quite a few times, it's one of the prettiest states I've ever been in, Tennessee.
I love going to Tennessee. We do a lot of stuff in Tennessee. You have Gatlinburg, and you've got Pigeon Forge, and it's fun. The kids love it. It's not crazy far for us to drive there, but I don't know. I like my job where I'm at, and I couldn't imagine having to drive from Tennessee every day to work.
No, that would suck.
South Carolina, I was looking kind of like in the Greer area, so that wouldn't be too bad of a drive if I got myself a little commuter or something.
Yeah, I would talk to Ray and a few of those others before you go thinking about where you want to move before you move, for sure.
Well, I'm not sold on it. I just was looking. I would rather stay in North Carolina if I could find something for the right price. I want to be able to walk outside my house and shoot.
Exactly.
I guess I could do that here. I got suppressors, but my neighbors probably would still hear it. Yeah. I don't recommend doing that.
That's probably a bad idea, especially if you're in the city limits or something.
Especially the neighborhood I live in. I'm not gonna say the neighborhood I live in, but
you're in a more tracky area, aren't you, right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would. You don't know. Maybe they'd all be like, "Hell yeah, good job, Wayne."
But it's funny, Rick. Almost every day we hear gunshots. There's areas right around our neighborhood where people are shooting. So.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that like shooting. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This great Tennessee, the great state of shooting stuff.
Pistol Pete says first round pop. Surprisingly, you don't get that with the R2K9.
It's an amazing suppressor. I'll say that much.
I feel like I got first round pop a little bit with 300 Blackout.
Well, you're gonna get first round pop with all of them, but it's just not as noticeable as it is with some suppressors. Man,
it's just crazy. We were shooting it yesterday, and we were shooting it in K configuration wet, and everyone was just blown away at how quiet it was. Like, the bullet hitting the berm in the backstop, is louder than the actual sound of the gun going off, and it sounds like one of those suppressed air rifles. It's crazy.
It's amazing crazy. It's stupid crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're here then, but we were when Sam and Ray were doing some testing of it when it was kind of in its steps of them tweaking with stuff to try to get a little more noise, reduction and a little more noise reduction. I had a chance to shoot those in different configurations, and as it progressed to getting closer to what it is now, but the thing's freaking amazing.
Yeah. I'm just incredibly thankful to have one myself. It's freaking awesome.
There's your answer. Mama said we are moving to South Carolina to be closer to our besties. Don't get confused.
So
The boss has spoken.
It's funny. We do have some friends, Jeff and Ellie, and they're our best friends. That's my wife's best friend and my best friend, and they're done with California too. And they're coming out here, and they're looking at South Carolina right now because of cost in South Carolina. And then Jeff, he works on helicopters, and so he's a contractor. He goes to Afghanistan. He works on helicopters and stuff like that. And so he's looking for somewhere where he's going to be a little closer to somewhere where he can work on helicopters. So.
George Wilson, welcome to the show, and yes, you are right.
Yeah, George Wilson knows the damn truth. I ain't going to argue with my wife. She cooks my food.
That's right.
Hey, but ask her what I made tonight.
Turbo Adrian. You
see my my Instagram story earlier? That
Yeah, I saw that. You spent. Here's. I'm going to talk shit on you for a second. So, say the name of the steak again. What the hell is that really expensive shit?
It was a Wagyu strip.
Yeah, a Wagyu strip. Wagyu or whatever.
Yeah.
A Wagyu strip. And I'm like, oh, there you go, Wayne. Kick ass.
You don't even want to know how much that one steak was.
He's kicking ass and taking names, right?
Yeah.
And then the next picture, I think it was the next picture, you seen it like cooked. And then the next picture is on a freaking paper plate with a damn plastic fork.
Hey, we keep it classy, bro.
That's awesome.
Hey, my little brother's up in here. Turbo Adrian, that's my little brother, man.
Oh, is that your brother?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And he's a helicopter mechanic. He just recently got out of the Marine Corps, and he moved out of California as well. He's in Nevada now.
Okay. So he's out of the military or just out of California? I didn't hear.
He's out of the military and out of California now.
Oh, awesome.
Yep. He's a good kid, man. I'm proud of him.
That is cool. Well, welcome to the show, Turbo. Adrian. Let's see. Yeah, that's cool.
He's got this weird lip thing, though, where his lip curls up and it like touches his nose, and he's like, "What's up, guys?"
What's happening? Don't be making fun of your brother.
Hey, it's my little brother. That's what
I know. Being a big brother guy.
I also just wanted to, say again, my drink here is sponsored by Altamont Outdoors.
Now tell us what the drink is again, because somebody had asked. Hey, why don't you do me a favor and tell like a 4-minute story on something? Do you think you can pull that off?
Yeah.
So I can go piss real quick? Awesome.
Absolutely. I could just start taking my shirt off. I mean...
No, let's not do that.
Yeah, you'll lose followers.
Yeah, that would be bad. What's up, Spice Weaver?
Yeah, so what I'm almost done drinking here, it's a Bourbon County barrel-aged stout. It's fantastic with my cool Altamont Outdoors cup. Altamont Outdoors is one of our Microtech dealers. Let's see. Let's look at the questions, and I'll do some answering here. 45 Auto says, all kinds of freedom, right? Pistol Pete, I see a Glock. Yeah, there's several on there. I cannot, because of YouTube rules, I can't grab any and show them to you, but I can scoot out of the way. We got that Bryson Shoots guy in here freaking starting problems again, talking about shooting on the back porch.
You want me to bounce him out of here?
Nah, I like him. He's got a good face.
Okay. Whoops.
Pistol Pete says 1911 up there. Yeah, it's funny because that 1911 is a SIG Scorpion. I love the SIG Scorpion. I wasn't able to buy one of those in California, and I actually bought that from Bryson Shoots, who's in here in the chat.
Very nice.
Who also is, my assistant in the Cerakote lab at work.
That's right, the lab.
The lab.
You guys run around in those white...
X there, Wayne. No. The two cans that I've got up there are a Dead Air Sandman S on the AR and a Microtech Defense R2K9, and I've got it in the full length configuration up there on the wall.
It's a beaut.
It is. I mean, man, I just can't stress that enough. So, my friends that came to surprise me, Rick, Kevin Dixie, the one who, has the Truth pistol that they presented to me, he's buying one. He's so freaking excited, and I'm gonna see if I can get permission to do it in black and red to match his theme. and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to pull that off for him. But he's so excited to get one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And now I'm going to use my Truth pistol as my demo pistol to use that, to show people that can now. I'm going to ditch the old Glock 17 and use my Truth pistol. I just got to come up on a threaded barrel for a VP9.
I might have one, actually.
If you do, let me know, man. I'll give you whatever you need for it.
I'm about 90. Oh, you know what? I'm going to need it, though.
Oh, well, then you hang on to it, and I'll find one. I bet Tony's got some extras.
He might. I'll look and see. The VP9 is actually my son's that I had bought him.
Okay.
So I might have a barrel somewhere. I know I have a barrel somewhere. I just, between the moving, I got half my crap at the old house and half my crap here, and I'm in the middle of a madness right now. I'm not sure exactly where all my crap is anymore. It's somewhere between there.
Mag weight. This guy says Wayne's mag game is looking weak. Got to get some more mags. Well, those mags that are hanging behind me, that's not just one hanging there. There's multiples back there. They're like in stacks.
All right, quit touching stuff. You're going to get me in trouble now. You got to remember, Shaggy Rifleman, he just moved here, so he just moved to America. So
there's a whole bunch over here next to me, too.
Thoughts on the KG coat? Brian Duchesne asked. Is that the stuff we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, KG makes a great product. There are things I don't like about it, and there are things I do like about it. They make some colors that Cerakote does not offer. Some really cool metallics, and it's a great product. The only real downside to KG, in my opinion, is how hot you have to bake it to get a full cure, unless you use the high temp or the low temp additive in it. It's a fantastic product, though.
Yeah. Have you ever done any hydro dip?
No, not personally. I have friends and stuff that do hydro dip, and hydro dip's really cool. There's a lot to it to get a legit setup going with it.
Yeah, the tanks and all that crap.
Yeah, and they're like heated tanks, and but then again, you're using another product like a clear Cerakote, clear Duracoat, clear KG gun coat over the top of them. You're using a matte or a gloss finish over the top of it to protect it. So, hydro dipping's definitely way cool if you want to get actual like multicam patterns and cryptech patterns and stuff like that. So,
yeah, to get it to match everything and all that.
Yeah.
Actually, you have a buddy. His name's Brian, but he owns Gulch Gear, and they make this. I think of it as an amazing camo pattern, but they just started where they are doing hydro dipping now. They're not doing it. They have the pattern of their pattern. The guy used to work at Pixar.
Okay.
And you know the old guy with the glasses on the movie Up?
Absolutely.
Okay, so he was the guy that drew that guy and designed him and a few other. But he went into the his passion was hunting, so he decided, you know what, I'm going to make this camouflage. It's amazing stuff. You would think, I don't know, I don't have any right here to show you, but anyway, so he through his process of his thing, and he sells like all the hat and shirts, pants kind of stuff, but now he's doing where now you can get your gun dipped, which is kind of cool. Yeah.
You know what's really cool, like speaking of like Pixar and stuff like that, my wife makes custom baby moccasins, and she hand paints them, does really cool designs and stuff on them. The creator of a lot of the characters in the movie Moana actually reached out to her and bought some moccasins with his characters on them, and then she did another pair for a baby shower that they were doing for someone at Pixar, and did some Pixar characters, and so
wow,
that was really cool.
That is cool.
Give me a second. I'm gonna run and grab my charger for my phone because I'm starting to get low battery here.
Okay, sounds good. I'll jump out here and say hi to everybody real quick. Hydro dip is excellent for tinted carbon fiber finishes. Pistol Pete says amazing things Mattel can't do these days. So what is the best application for Cerakote? Pros and cons. Great question, Spy Sweeper. I'll leave that one up for when he gets here, but they spray it on like they do, like you would any small type of project painting. Let's see. Who else is out there?
All right, I'm plugged in now, but I had to unplug my light to plug my phone in.
No problem. The lighting's fine. The Spy Sweeper says, I don't know much about Cerakote, so what is the best application for Cerakote? Pros and cons. So you use a paint roller, right?
Yeah, I use a paint roller or sometimes a sponge. Or I'll load it up in a straw and just blow it all over the product, you know. No, we use basically a touch-up gun with a small tip on it, like a 0.5 to a 0.8 tip. Really, the biggest thing if you're going to spray Cerakote on something is you need to make sure that your prep is on point. It's got to be completely free of greases and contaminants, and you've got to do a nice media blast on it to give it a mechanical surface to adhere to. So.
No shooting today, Jerry Parker. Too much snow on the ground. Too slushy. Let's see if you want to be a part of the next GameStop by SLV. It's a short squeeze on silver that the Reddit boys are now targeting. There's some down and dirty information. Brian Duchesne. We could all make a couple $1,000,000. Then we could just sit around and shoot all day long. Wouldn't even have to work at Microtech.
Are we allowed to show knives on this?
Hell yeah.
So, by no means is this thing like the greatest, but I don't know. I just find something really cool about it. My dad sent me this like the other day. He was like, "Hey, I sent you this. I sent you something," and I got it in the mail. And I was like, "What the hell is this?" And like, you know what? This is going in my bug out bag. This is kind of cool.
You got brass knuckles. You got a knife. You're ready to rock.
Yeah. You know, I had a Microtech hand tank in here, but my son repoed it from me because Ray actually gave it to my son, Wyatt. That's right. The X-Ring gave my son brass knuckles, and I love him for it.
That's awesome. Hey, you never know when you might need a set of brass knuckles, right?
You never know, especially when you're 7.
That's right. At least you can't, poke your eye out with them.
No, you can't.
Too easy.
My 9-year-old's been wanting to get a knife, though, so I'm thinking I'm going to get him like a Mini T or like a UTX 70. So he's got like some Swiss Army knives, but he wants a Microtech, so you know how that goes.
Well, yeah. Dad works at Microtech. Might as well have a Microtech.
Love my Microtechs.
Me
Got
too.
my Scarab 2 on today.
Dun, dun, dun. Is that the one with the water? No. Yeah, it is. You did. Look at you rolling with the Signature Series.
That one even says Hammer Time on the pocket clip.
Damn, lucky man.
You know, the boss takes care of me, man. I
He
take care of
does.
him the best I can, so.
Yep, it's true.
Yep.
So it's more about rust protection or oxidation protection on metals, Spy Sweeper asked.
Well, originally, yeah, it was. Cerakote was very limited on colors, and it was basically something to refinish your firearms with. Whether you wanted like black or an OD green or a tan. But the process has just developed so much and improved so much. People are doing some amazing stuff with it. People are doing like basically murals on guns and knives and whatever it is that you're painting with Cerakote, and doing incredible things with it. So yeah, it's extremely corrosion resistant. It's completely solvent resistant. Like if you fully cure Cerakote on, say, a firearm or any kind of piece of metal or plastic, whatever it is, you can literally pour aircraft stripper on it and it will not touch the Cerakote. It will not wrinkle it. It will not hurt it whatsoever. The only way to remove it is to media blast it.
That's pretty impressive.
There is one solvent we have found that if you heat it up hot enough, like in a crock pot, and put your Cerakote in there, it will take it off. And it's called AquaStrip BG600.
So you put a bunch of solvent into a crock pot. This does not sound good.
It's not good. You know what we use that for, though, Rick? We use it to clean some of our paint gun pieces.
I could see that, where you got to get them clean.
I mean, we do our best to make sure every time we're done spraying that we clean them out very good.
Yeah.
But over time, you start to get a Cerakote buildup in those paint guns. And at $300 a pop, you do your best to try to keep them clean.
Yeah, for sure. How about brake fluid? Jerry Parker wants to know. Acid
Brake
resistance.
fluid won't touch Cerakote, so you can coat your brake calipers or your control arms, whatever, on your vehicle with Cerakote, and they'd be completely, resistant to brake fluid.
I didn't know this stuff was that good.
It's extremely good, man.
Now, what are the properties of it? Let's think like Cerakote. You know how I like do the sponge camo?
Yeah.
Where I'm taking the different colors and dipping them in and.
So Cerakote doesn't work well with a sponge, believe it or not, because it's a ceramic-based product, and it clumps up really bad when you use a sponge. Now, if that's the look you're going for, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can still do it that way. But Cerakote, I wish I had a bottle here to show you. Cerakote, if you haven't shaken it up in a while, it settles. It's like a powder in the bottom and a liquid in the top. It's a solid and a solvent. And so you got to shake that up real good, and you got to mix the two. So it's similar to a very thin powder coat that's suspended in a liquid. And then, we measure it by weight. So we pour it into a little container on top of a scale, and we take that weight, and that tells us the right amount of catalyst to add to the Cerakote. Then we mix all that up. We run it through a strainer, it goes into our paint gun, and then we spray. And then, so once you spray it onto your product, say an upper receiver, you let it sit in ambient air for 15 to 20 minutes, and you let all that solvent that's in there flash off of it, let it evaporate, and it leaves just the solid on the product. And then you put it in your oven and you bake it.
Okay. Now, but what I was getting at is, can you say you had 3 sprayers and you had and they had different colors, right? Now I know, like when you're trying to do camouflage, like the camouflage that you did for Ray's rifle, right?
Yeah.
It was more like pieces, like designs.
What do you mean? I don't Cerakote anyone's guns. I don't know what you're talking about.
So you had to let that set up and then do the next process, but not too much, so you could do the other thing. So you can't spray. Can you spray how you were saying where people were doing pictures basically, where you're just psh, and then you're grabbing another color? Can you mix it, or does it not bond together because it's a different color?
So let me give you a basic rundown of how we would do a multicolor camouflage job, and hopefully that'll help you kind of understand the process. So we're going to spray our base coat on. Say we're going to use gray first. We're going to spray our gray on there. We're going to do a nice solid coat of the gray. And then we're going to put that in an oven for around 15 minutes at 180 degrees. We're going to pull that out. We're going to let it cool down. Once it's pulled out and cooled down, it's safe to touch that. It is not cured fully. It is only what we call flash cured. Then we can go ahead and we can apply our stencils to it. We apply a stencil to it, which is basically like a vinyl sticker, heat-resistant vinyl sticker. Then we hang it back up in the booth, and we spray our second color on it. So we'll use green for this one. We do the same thing. We take it after we've sprayed that green on it, we put it back in the oven for 15 minutes at 180 degrees. We pull it back out, we let it cool down, we add another layer of stencils to it, and then we'll paint some black on it. Put it in the oven for 15 minutes, let it cool down, and then say we're happy with that. We're only going to use 3 colors. Then we peel all the stencils off, and then we put it in the oven at 300 degrees and let it bake for an hour. There is a window of time. That 15 minutes at 180 degrees is our window of time. If we screw up when we accidentally leave it in there for 20, 25 minutes, well, we've got to start the job over because that Cerakote has now cured a little too much for the next color to stick to it. One of the things with Cerakote being completely solvent and corrosion resistant and nothing sticks to Cerakote, Cerakote doesn't even stick to Cerakote once it's fully cured.
Oh, wow.
So,
but could I run 2 spray cans and go, and they're blended in or whatever? Who cares what it looks like? Can you let them touch before they dry?
Oh,
can I mix 2 and just? Just
Absolutely.
you could get crazy and then throw the whole damn thing in there and call
Oh
it
yeah,
done.
absolutely. You can lay
Okay.
one color right on top of another wet color. That's fine. You can do that, and they're not typically going to bleed into each other unless you spray them super wet. Or you can actually take and you can, if you want to get a custom color, you mix those two colors together in a jar and you shake them up and make a color, and then add your hardener to that, and then spray it and have a custom color. It's very versatile. You can do a lot of things with it. You just got to know, what you can and can't do with it. I mean, you got to experiment with it a little bit, or even take their class and they teach you how to do multicolored stuff.
Yeah. And obviously it's probably got to be in the same heat temperature window.
It does.
Yeah. That way, I could see that
Well,
for sure.
It's funny because every color has its own unique mixture. They all have a different solid to solvent ratio. Like, I encourage you, next time you come into the coatings department, to come look. I'll show you some of the bottles of Cerakote and how some of them have a lot of liquid in them and some of them have a little bit of liquid in them, and then you see all the solid in the bottom. They've done that to create kind of an even viscosity with some of the colors, and we've got metallics and regular opaque colors, and then each one of those colors, like say graphite black, if we're trying to mix an 18-to-1 ratio with the Cerakote versus the hardener, you're going to get a different number than when you mix burnt bronze. You're going to need to use a different amount of the hardener, depending on what that solvent to solid ratio is. It's
very color dependent then.
It is, and you have to follow the MSDS sheets. And we actually have a computer program that has all that stuff in there. That it's kind of like a cheat to show you exactly how much you need to put in hardener you need to put in each color.
That's pretty cool.
Color, you type in the weight of the color that you're using, and then it'll tell you how much hardener to add to that color. Let's see. Let's check out these questions. See if there's anything.
Let's see what we got.
So it really bonds to metal, kind of like those non-stick pans. Yeah, bonds to metal very good as long as you cut to the metal correctly. And believe it or not, it bonds to blasted polymer even better than metal. Ray did a good video on painting Cerakote. He sure works at a good place. Ray did do a very good video on the Cerakote. I actually was the one filming that video. Ray did a very good job for his first time Cerakoting. There were a couple steps that we left out just because I suck at recording stuff, and I thought I was recording and I wasn't. and so we got some bad feedback on that video, like, hey, you missed this step or you missed that step, but
Christina says, say my business name.
OnlyFans/Christina Hammer. Oh wait, no, her other business. Okay, it's called Small Town Apparel. You can find them on Facebook or Instagram.
Small Town Apparel.
Yeah.
There you go. Christina Hammer. Dun, dun, dun. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
We did our hour and a half awesome job tonight, Mr. Wayne Hammer.
Rick, I really appreciate you having me on. I was a little nervous to do this. It's the first time I've done a actual live like this besides some of the Instagram videos, and wasn't quite set up. But, I've got a couple other people that have been knocking on my door to do some live stuff. So, maybe I'll be more willing to do it now.
There you go. Yeah, it's fun. It was enjoyable.
I'm
sure people learned something. That's what we try to do on this thing.
People had, and it's really cool. Let me address one more question from Spy Sweeper. If you don't have a blaster, what's the best way to prep the metal? There's not another way to prep the metal. You need a blaster.
Yeah, and you don't want what bead was it that you're not supposed to use? Ceramic beads.
Don't use ceramic bead. Use 100 grit aluminum oxide or garnet sand. The Outlaw Josie Wells says, Wayne, are there any rifle components you do not recommend, or you recommend not to be Cerakoted? Carbon fiber stocks. They can be Cerakoted, but you've got to bake them at a very low temperature. And when you bake at a very low temperature, you don't get a full cure out of them. So, but other than that, I've baked U.S. optics scopes. I've baked Night Force scopes and aim points, and you name it, things that you think that you probably shouldn't bake. I've baked them.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because of the gases inside of the tube.
Yeah, no, they're fine. We do them at 180 degrees. I mean, think about it, like, something like
Hell,
an
it's out
Endpoint
at
or
Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, if it's sitting in your car in freaking Arizona, I mean, it's probably reaching pretty close to that temperature.
Yeah, for sure it is. All right, well, hopefully you guys don't hit the button yet, Wayne, but I'm going to turn this off to end this thing. Thanks again, everybody, for showing up. John Jeffrey, Spice Weaver, Joaquin. Who else we got out there? Lynn Holt, Brian T, the Shaggy Rifleman, Otters out there. STK, I don't know how to say that. Let me see if I can see it with my STKESQ48. Sorry, I don't know how to say that word. Jerry Parker's out there. Outlaw Josie Wales. And we got DW, Jerry Parker. Who else? Simon Klein's out there. Brian Duchesne. On and on. Christina Hammer, thanks for letting me interview your hubby. It was a pleasure. 45 auto.
Hey, Rick, real quick. Jerry Parker asked if you can eat off of Cerakote. Cerakote does not recommend that you eat off their product, but once it's cured, there are a lot of Cerakote items that people do eat off of. Once it's cured, it's cured. It's not going to put off any kind of toxins or anything. They just legally will say do not eat off of it.
There you go. You heard it here first. Maybe.
I Cerakoted like a whole margarita machine one time.
That's pretty cool. Tank Frank, have a good night. Christina Hammer, anytime. He did great. He did a great job. All right, you guys all have a good night. Stay safe, and we'll probably see you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.